What I discovered is you have to offer your services not to people who need it. It's for people who want it. There was this NFL player that retired here in Baltimore as a running back, and he opened up a gym. And he felt that, you know what? There's a lot of people that are obese, that are overweight, that aren't eating right, that I can help them. And bro, within almost 90 days, he was almost out of business. Well, why was that? Well, it's because he was marketing to people who needed to be healthier, not the people who wanted to be healthier. So when we help them pivot and say, hey, man, you got to go after those people who are attempting to do something. They just don't know what to do. They're trying to eat better. They want to get into an exercise regimen, et cetera, et cetera. Those people, because they're already taking action, they want this. That's your target audience, because now you can help them. They may not know what to do, and you can help them learn how to do what to do the right way versus, hey, these people need it. And so that's the key. Target people who want what you offer, not the people who we think need it.
Welcome to another episode of the Health Coach Academy podcast. I'm your host, Omar Cumberbatch from OmarCumberbatch.com. Thank you so much for joining. As always, we have a wonderful guest today. Really excited to share him. His name is Malcolm Reid, and he breaks down a lot of interesting topics for us, especially just how to get our businesses booming. He has a wonderful business in a box model, and he has so many interesting things that he's going to share with us. But I wanted to give him a shout out because what really attracted me was just the idea that there's so many different ways to get your marketing right and just getting yourself out there so people could know exactly what you're doing. And he has so many different ways to do it, and he really doesn't rely on social media to do it. And everybody knows I'm not a big fan of the social media stuff. So when I saw his proposals, I was like, wow, this is really interesting. And I think a lot of health coaches can get a ton out of what he has to offer. So as always, please leave a rating and review. It makes me have the wonderful ability to get guests as great as Malcolm on the show. So let's jump into it. Hey, Malcolm, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Man, I'm excellent, Omar. First of all, thank you for having me, man. I'm excited to have a conversation today.
I'm super excited to have you. Like I said, I saw your one sheet and automatically there were topics that jumped out for me selfishly. We do this for the people. So
right.
I'm going to get my selfish stuff in. Don't worry. Well, listen, it's always great to talk to somebody, especially in what off air in the green room, and really get to know them a little bit better. So I want to share a little bit about you as far as your origin story. So I want you to just tell us a little bit about, where you came from, what you're up to, the impact that you had. I think it's a phenomenal story, especially growing up where you grew up. You would never figure, even myself growing up, you never knew what this industry was, right? And
no.
You're at the forefront of it, creating it, and it's massive now. So I really want you to just dive into that a little bit so we get to know you a little better.
Yeah, of course, man. Because, growing up in the slums and in the hood of Baltimore, that's how they say it in Baltimore. But people say Baltimore. But if you're from Baltimore, you say Baltimore, right? Right. Man, listen, I was surrounded by murder, drugs, robberies. I mean, that was the normal everyday life. And so, but I didn't know any better. Right? I didn't know that was dangerous. We just grew up that way. And so I never could have thought, Omar, by any capacity that I would end up doing good, because I did what I saw. So at a young age, in my early 20s, I ended up going to prison for selling drugs, doing what I saw. And so it put me in a position where, as a convicted felon, I dropped out of high school in the 10th grade. I couldn't qualify for your normal job. So, it's not that I'm a victim, but I made some choices that put me in a position that I can't get hired. So what's my choice? Stay in the streets or get creative and find a way to do something different? And that's exactly what I did. I started hustling in a good way. I used, all the, I didn't actually have a formal education or formal business training, but when you have nothing, was what they call it, making a dollar out of 15 cents, you learn how to budget when you're poor, right? You learn how to stretch a dollar. You learn how to get creative and find ways to make money. So like I was what they call a squeegee kid. I would go to the traffic lights and spray windshield wipers and clean people's windows at the traffic light. Or I would go to the grocery store, the supermarket, and carry grocery bags for older people, or sell frozen cups and snowballs, right? At a young age, I was an entrepreneur, but I didn't know it. And I truly believe that where you come from, you can't control that. But you can control, once you get to an age of understanding, where you end up. And I made a decision, like after prison, I never wanted to be in that situation again. Not only did I let myself down, I let my parents down. I let the people who loved and care about me down, but it also made me stronger. And the way it made me stronger was that unless you've been through something, when the tough times come, which they will, I don't believe you're equipped to get through the tough times if you haven't been through tough times. And so not that you necessarily have to go to prison or anything like that, but we all have challenges, right? And so what led me to this point is those challenges gave me an internal determination and fortitude that just can't be broken. And I said, instead of hurting people, I was going to use that type of determination to help others. And I believe that if someone like me, no high school diploma, criminal background as a youth, if I can be successful, Omar, anybody can. I truly believe that.
No, that's a very inspirational story. I'm curious because it's interesting. Like you said, you kind of were thrown into business not knowing that you were a businessman. When was the first time you kind of know, okay, I can get this and I can make good, hard earning money the right way? And like, tell us a little bit about that.
The very first thing I'm going to say business venture that I did where I realized I could make good money is I used to sing. I used to sing, and I put on a talent and fashion show, and I was broke. So here's what I did. I went to the YWCA and I said, can I use your auditorium? And in exchange, I'll donate some money to you from the tickets that I sell. And I had auditions, Omar. And look, the people that showed up and auditioned, I was giving away $1,000 prize. I didn't even have $1,000. I didn't have $10. But anyway, at the audition, I chose the people for the show. I had 50 people that I picked. Now, each of them had to sell 20 tickets. So I say, hey, why would someone be interested in you as an artist if you can't even get 20 people to support you? And so from the ticket sales, think about it, they were $20 a piece, 50 people, each had 20 tickets. That's 1,000 people times $20 a piece. So as they were selling the tickets, I was able to get the venue. I was able to pay for the sound, pay for the lighting, pay for the food, pay for the person. I got the radio station to come and do it. And next thing I know, just from ticket sales, we sold out. I had to do a second day. So I was able to make, and I was 19 years old. I made like 50 grand because we had the ticket sales plus food plus pictures doing a talent and fashion show.
Yeah.
And by being creative like that, I had no money. I had to get creative and fund that. I realized then if you have something that people want and you give them quality, people will show up and they'll do it again and again and again. I did that show for 10 years running.
Wow. That's crazy. But it just kind of shows it's like how money just comes out of nowhere, right? It's like,
yeah, I mean, it was like, wow. I mean, a broke kid like me, again, determination, creativity, you can get a good result. But I think the key though, you got to produce a product that's good, something that people find value. Because see, the first show, there were local talent. It was nobody's. After that, I was able to start getting some national artists to come as special guests, that would come to my show. And then it started to build, catch a name. And then before you know it, the Maryland Talent Festival became something that people in the state of Maryland started looking forward to.
Wow, that's amazing. So I want to take it back because I mentioned off air, it kind of grew up in a similar situation.
Yeah.
But I dealt with money blocks, right? You've said broke a billion times, so I know that feeling. And honestly, it's very difficult to overcome. I don't even know if I've completely overcome it at this point in life either. But did you need to work on that at all? Did you feel like you had any money blocks that couldn't take you to the next level, and how did you overcome it?
Of course. I mean, going from welfare and barely having any money to what people may consider abundance, I had a broke mindset.
Right.
Like, I self-sabotaged so much. And then when I got the money, the first thing I did, I showed off. I took care of all my friends. I wanted to let them know I made it. I spent lots of money on wasteful stuff like sneakers and clothes and things like that. So I didn't keep any of it. I didn't save any of it. And when I look back at it, Omar, deep down inside, I didn't even think that I deserved it. So even though I did that, I self-sabotaged it. And it got to a point where when that show ended, that was because of me. I started picking up bad habits. I'm smoking weed. I'm drinking. Right. I'm partying. I got all the women. And so outwardly, I appear to be doing well. Internally, I'm suffering, and mentally, I got my attitude was poor. So I didn't think that I deserved abundance, and I never thought I was good enough.
How did you correct that? Well, like, did you go to like some coaching? Did therapy? Like, I'm curious because I know like a lot of us as health coaches, we might not have dealt with it in the same way that you dealt with it, but we do have money blocks, especially when you're trying to help people. Like a lot of health coaches are healers, and they try to think that they don't want to get paid for the value that they provide. It's a lot of that going on too, money blocks.
Yeah, so I still struggle with it. Actually, it doesn't go away, Omar, because I'm heart-centered, right? It's like, hey, now that I've been able to be in a position to help people, my heart says help first. Mm-hmm. Here's what I realized, though. I've gotten taken advantage of so much that I realized that when I show up for free or for a low fee, I'm not really helping the other person. You know why? They're not invested. They don't have any skin in the game.
Right.
And as crazy as it sounds, the people who go all in, who invest a high fee, they show up and do the work. They're committed. And so it's not that I don't feel it sometimes. Like I still feel like, wow, I want to give. Like, are people really paying me, this amount of money, tens of thousands to support them? Well, my heart says I want to do it without it. But every time, Omar, I support someone and they don't pay my full fee, it ends up bad. Mm. In most cases, they don't take personal ownership. A lot of times they'll blame me for their lack of results versus every person that pays me full fee and a high fee, they show up differently. They do the work, they get the result and the outcome that they desire.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you have the examples, in Maryland where you're from of the gyms, right? Because Planet Fitness is the $5 gym. And, we got Equinox up here, which is like a high-end gym. Mm-hmm. People go to Equinox, are there religiously. The Planet Fitness folks, they're like, that's $5. Yep. Feel it. So like you said, you have to have some skin in the game. You have to have some investment in it. And that's kind of one of the things that I think helps a lot of health coaches get past that price point paranoia and all that kind of stuff, because it's just something that they know that they're going to get better results and get more business just by that. So thanks for sharing that part of it.
And there's a secret to it too, Omar, if you don't mind. Mm-hmm. What I discovered is you have to offer your services not to people who need it. It's for people who want it. There was this NFL player that retired here in Baltimore as a running back, and he opened up a gym. And he felt that, you know what? There's a lot of people that are obese, that are overweight, that aren't eating right, that I can help them. And bro, within almost 90 days, he was almost out of business. Mm. Well, why was that? Well, it's because he was marketing to people who needed to be healthier, not the people who wanted to be healthier. So when we help them pivot and say, hey, man, you got to go after those people who are attempting to do something. They just don't know what to do. They're trying to eat better. They want to get into an exercise regimen, et cetera, et cetera. Those people, because they're already taking action, they want this. That's your target audience, because now you can help them. They may not not know what to do and you can help them learn how to do what to do the right way versus, hey, these people need it. And so that's the key. Target people who want what you offer, not the people who we think need it.
Right.
That was a big breakthrough for me.
That's excellent. I'm glad that you brought that up. I'm definitely going to share that. That makes a lot of sense. So, Malcolm, tell our audience what that is that you actually do.
Yeah, so small business, like, you know how you have people hire business coaches and consultants to help them grow their business? Mm-hmm. Well, I would be that person's advisor or coach. And so they use my software and our methodology to actually grow small businesses. So I train I'm sort of like the train the trainer, right? The business coaching consultant comes to us, and then we use our methodology and our software and technology to help them grow small businesses, including their own.
Okay. And I definitely wanted to talk method because, like I said, there was something in your one sheet that really jumped out of you, and it was basically how to build $1 million coaching business without posting on social media. Yeah. I am loving this potential that you're because I can't stand social media. Just something that I know I have to do it, but I just don't want to do it. But if you're going to give me an out, I will take it. So what is behind this?
You know, when it comes to Facebook and Facebook and Instagram, you know, they allow people to show up however they want the world to perceive them to be. Think about it. People take 50 selfies, they put filters on it to get the perfect picture, and they craft this life that's not real. But here's what everyone's chasing, Omar. They're chasing what the big brands do. So, the companies like Geico and Bank of America who have billion-dollar budgets, you know what they do? They brand, they post, they post. They run ads. So you see them everywhere. So the small business owner like you and I think that that's what we have to do in order for us to stand out. And it's not. It's radically different. See, I don't like social media either. In fact, when you're on social media, it's more noise. You have to do more to stand out. So here's what I've learned. There's a 4-step formula. It's called the conversion formula, which is how a small business owner can actually stand out because it helps them create what's called a position of market dominance. And I'll break it down really quick. The first step is your audience already has a problem that they don't want. So you're not creating the problem. It already exists and they don't want it, right? So the first thing you have to do is create a headline. It's called Captivate. The first thing you say or that they see must be the problem they have that they don't want, right? Step 2 is fascinate. Now that I got your attention, like I know this is the problem you're dealing with, the fascinate is the solution that they're looking for, but they can't find it. Right. So that becomes the second thing that I say or that they see or hear. Step 3 is I have to educate you, meaning prove to this person that our solution or our service or product is far superior to our competition in any way, which leads to step 4. I have to make them an offer so compelling and irresistible they can't say no. And it doesn't mean that they're buying something from me. Case in point. You got a kid at home that's destructive, they're unruly, they're ruling the house, and you can't control them, right? So if you say, hey, you know what, are you sick and tired of that belligerent attitude of your child? Well, if someone having that situation, that's the problem they got, and they don't want it. Then you can say, well, learn how to instantly control the behavior and take back your home. That's the solution they're looking for. Here's my educate. Well, I'm going to give you a free guide that's going to give you my 60-second remedies that will instantly bring calm and peace back into your home. And the offer is, I just need your email and I'll send you the guide. So I don't need to be on social media to do that because I understand a parent in that situation, hypothetically, what do they feel, Omar? They feel overwhelmed. They feel powerless. They feel helpless. So if I can attach to that emotion and I know where you're looking to get help, that's where I need to be. I don't need to be on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. I need to know, where are you going for help? Who are the people that you look at as influencers, or who that you go to for help and advice? And as long as I can position myself where you already are going and I can speak to your message, you will be attracted to me.
So then it is still a marketing strategy, of course.
It is. It's just not online.
It's just not online. So what does that look like? So because I think, honestly, Malcolm, a lot of people forget that there's a world offline, right? So I find that amazing when the guests who I've had on the show kind of reiterate the fact that, there is other options. So I'm curious, give us some of those options, because again, marketing is exactly what's going on. It's just not social media marketing.
Yeah. One of the biggest ways that you can do this is through strategic alliances and joint ventures. I'm going to use that as one of our 22. We have 22 no and low cost strategies that will grow small businesses without ad spend or increasing marketing dollars. One would be strategic alliances and joint ventures. And small business owners, they overlook this powerful strategy. So imagine, for example, you think about your client and think about everything that they would do before they come to you and everything they would do after they purchase your service. Let's use a florist as an example. Say there's a person getting married, right, Omar? I'm the florist. Well, the first place they go is after the person makes they propose, they go to the jeweler, right? That's the first place. So I'm looking at everybody before they come to the florist. They look at the jeweler, then they go to the venue where they're going to get married at, right? They may go to the baker. They may go to the limousine company. Then they come to get the flowers, right? Then they're going to look to see where the reception's going to be, the dress, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. All of those people are strategic alliances and joint venture opportunities because we have the same customer, but we're not competing. So what happens is everybody above the florist that I mentioned can send business to the florist. You follow me?
Yeah.
Everybody that they go to after the florist can now send business to them. And so you negotiate with each of them a percentage of the business. And we're talking, you can earn tens of thousands of dollars. Think about what a wedding costs in each of those steps, right? Mm-hmm. So imagine a guide being put together that says, what's the bride's biggest concern for wedding day? She is worried about her wedding day being a disaster, right? She's worried about being taken advantage of. So imagine having a guide that says the 7 inside secrets to avoid disaster on your wedding day. And there's a bride who looks like she's like a bridezilla. But every one of those strategic alliances from the jeweler on down hands that guide out. Inside the guide is teaching them how to negotiate with other vendors. Guess who the vendors are? All of your strategic partners. So when she goes to the jeweler to get the ring, the jeweler's going to say, hey, listen, let me give you this guide, the 7 inside secrets to avoid disaster on your wedding day. Inside of this, you're going to learn how to negotiate vendors, ask the right questions, and make sure your day goes smooth. Well, inside of it is all of the other strategic partners. You follow me? So that creates now your referral chain. Mm-hmm. She just spent thousands on the wedding ring. Do you think she trusts the jeweler a little bit?
Yeah.
Right. Well, if she started with the baker's going to do the same thing. Or if she started at the venue, they're going to do the same thing. So just that strategy, that one strategy. Think about it for your industry, right? A health coach. What are things that people do that they have to do other than work out? Well, there's nutrition, right? There's other things that they must do. There's other products. So you can create these strategic alliances with people who are going to need to do all these things anyway, and you all work together. That doesn't require marketing online. That's a chain that you've created because you're serving the same person. And you could grow that to lengths that's unlimited.
Yeah, no, that's fascinating. I don't think I've ever heard it broken down like that, and especially the cohesion that you've presented. So, like you prepare like some of these things for the businesses that you're helping, so that they can actually go out and provide these for.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, you know what I want to ask too, because as you were explaining, I'm thinking about all the, my strategic partnerships and stuff like maybe a health coach can do. I want to throw out something that's kind of interesting because we did talk about like how coaching and like this, what we do nowadays is kind of new to, I guess, the mainstream. Health coaches run into this problem specifically. And if you could help us out with this, I think this is an amazing thing and they're going to love you forever. A health coach, every time you say you're a health coach, like the first thing that a person would be saying is like, oh, are you a nutritionist or are you
Right.
a dietitian or are you a, so it's like the where we are, at least in the current evolution, uh, we're still not niched out
Right.
properly. What do you think about that? Because it's funny because I have a buddy of mine who's actually a spiritual director, right?
Okay.
In the industry, we kind of know what that could entail, but nobody's looking for a spiritual director. So
Right.
he's just a life coach. That's what.
Right. Right.
So I find like health coaches are like right on the precipice of being like more mainstream in the life coach way. Like,
Hmm.
since we're not there, what do you think about that?
So what I've learned
Mm-hmm.
is people don't care what you do. They care if you can solve their number one challenge. Now what we're going to do together, this is for you and the audience. We're going to do this together and we're going to unpack this so we can help position how a health coach identifies what they do so the audience or their potential clients can hear different. So Omar, if someone was to say hire a health coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were to follow your program, what is that going to do for them?
Me specifically, was just giving like an example.
Sure, let's just me and you kind of role play this. So, what would that do for them? I hire you as my health coach. What is that going to do for that person?
Um, so I specialize in like weight loss stuff. So,
Got it.
okay,
All right. So
yeah,
I've lost weight.
yeah.
What's that going to do for them?
They'll be more confident. They'll be healthier.
Got it. All right. So they lost weight. They're healthier. They're more confident. What's that going to do for them?
I can help in their relationships. They can help it showing up for work. Yes, unlimited. Yeah. Okay.
Got it. So look, I've lost weight. I'm healthier. I'm more confident. I now have more meaningful relationships. I'm more productive. What is that going to do for them?
Wow. It could make them more money. It could be, oh man, let's go make more money. Have better time with their family. Yeah, I could name 1,000 things, but I got you.
So, what are they really buying? See, they're not buying from you a health coach. They're buying the life that working with you gets them. They're buying freedom. They're buying confidence. They're buying meaningful relationships with them, with others in their family. So when someone says, hey, what do you do? Well, I get hired to help people to go from being uncertain and unhealthy to where they are thriving with meaningful relationships and generating more money.
Mm-hmm.
That's different than I'm a health coach.
Oh, totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So what would separate a health coach from another health coach is speaking directly to what the outcome that you generate for that person. Most of the time, the how is irrelevant. How I built the jet is not relevant. I know it's going to get a ticket and it's going to get me to my destination. So most people, Omar, the challenge is they're saying I'm a health coach. That's vague to the people that's hearing it. But me wanting to get in shape, and I know that what I'm really going for is I can't get a woman. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to feel so much more confident when I can get this woman. I'm making more money and I'm have more meaningful relationships. If somebody said that, hey, Malcolm, people hire me to help them, have more meaningful relationships and make more money and feel more confident. I'm interested in hearing what you got to say.
Mm-hmm. So I guess that's where my natural curiosity goes, because I always kind of lean back to the social media aspect, right? Or just the online aspect. It's like everyone, like, how do I search that? Like, how do I find that? Like, how do I locate Malcolm and what he does if I don't have that title? Because I think that, that's definitely an excellent way to grab a person's attention.
So where are these people at? So where are these people hanging out? What do you think people like this will be going? Right. So if you go say to Amazon, what books do you think they're buying? Right. If you go to Amazon and you find the books they're buying, the complaints that they put when they do the reviews tells you what they really want. So I'm going to speak that language. So if you're tired of feeling this way, people hire me to do this. What groups do they go to? So what I mean is this. You can use social media as a tool. You just don't have to be the one posting and running ads. If there's groups where people are, they're weight loss groups or nutrition group, I can be a part of the group and I can give value. Somebody's, asking a question, I can answer the question. I can answer the question in a way that the person says, I wonder who Omar is. And, people are nosy by nature, Omar. So guess what they do next? They DM you.
Yeah.
And now I start a conversation.
Yeah.
Right. And they don't know what else to ask you other than, well, what do you do? That's the first question people ask you because they don't know anything else. Yeah. And when you can say I'm hired by, and whatever their question was, you can even make it personal to them. If they say I'm struggling with XYZ, well, the opposite of what they're struggling with is what they really want.
Yeah.
Right. So people that want XYZ hire me so that they can be more confident, live a more fulfilling life, and create meaningful relationships. And by the way, if you know someone that way, I got this guide, The 3 Inside Secrets to Living a Better Life, and feel, whatever. Let me send it over to you. Compliments of me.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think happens, Omar, if you do that to somebody?
Oh, yeah. No, they eat it up. Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
So when they're ready to do something, they look at you. So I'm just giving you my blueprint. That's kind of there's 22 strategies specifically that we do. And what I'm going to do for your audience is I wrote my book. It's called Massive Action, where it outlines these strategies. And I put that aside, for your audience. And so they can get a free copy of it when we're done. I'll make sure I give you the link so they can get that and they'll get their hands on it. And so for you and other health coaches, as well as your audience, they can get those strategies, and any money you guys can generate from that book is yours.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much for that. And I know we're burning through time. I know that, you like I said, always say 30 to 40 minutes is a sweet spot, but that just as a testament to what kind of guest you are and how quickly the show has been moving. So I guess maybe to end this session, and hopefully we can get back together and go a little deeper into something.
Oh yeah,
that'd be great. You're definitely dealing with small businesses on a massive scale. What do you think is the biggest mistake that small businesses make, especially if you put in the context of a health coach who got their certification and want to go out there and help as many people as they can?
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest hurdle that they have to overcome, or the biggest mistake?
Yeah, one of the biggest mistakes that I see is that they don't understand the number one problem they're solving, so they can't articulate to other people what separates them from just another health coach or whatever the business that they're in. And so again, remember, you can't force your solution down the throat of the marketplace. You can only harness what's already out there. And the people want the service. It's just a matter of how do you articulate it in a way that clearly says you should pick me versus, well, why should I pick you? Right? That's the biggest challenge. And it's not that the people I run across, Omar, they have skills. They're good at what they do. They can get the result, but a stranger doesn't know that. Yeah. To a stranger, just another plumber, just another health coach, just another business coach, right? And people say things like, "Oh, well, we provide, quality service." Well, I would hope so. Well, we do what we say we do. People say, "Well, I would hope so. We've been around for 20 years. So what?" No one cares about that. They only care about their problem. And so the biggest mistake is not being able to identify clearly what is that problem? What is that person, the emotions they're feeling by not having this problem solved, and articulate it in a way where the person will say, "Wow, they're talking about me. That person gets me. They know me." That's the biggest mistake. So they're trying to emulate the big boys and realizing that when we're small, we have to be clear about what separates us.
Wow. Makes a lot of sense. Malcolm, you've been awesome. Appreciate you jumping on the show today.
Man, this has been fun, bro. I'm glad you invited me. This has been a lot of fun. I mean, I didn't know we were going to have this much fun.
No, like I said, no, as soon as I have I've done over like 200 guests, right? And you stood out right away. So I know when I got a good one. So,
that's kind of you, my friend.
But listen, tell us how to get in touch with you, website, social media handles, if you have any.
Yeah, the thing is, what I want to do is, again, I want to give this gift for you and your audience. Thank you for having me on. Again, the book is called Massive Action. Right. And the reason you can take massive action, because these strategies, they're low and no cost. It has nothing to do with running ads and doing marketing. Right. And so you go to 100K. So 100K leak, LEAK, like a leaky faucet, 100Kleak.com, and just download the book. And I'm telling you, it's a quick, easy read. It's easy to follow. Those strategies, not only for yourself, but also for other health coaches and others in your audience. There's hundreds of thousands of dollars in hidden revenue right in front of your face. Wow. Go grab that and get your hands on it. And that would be my gift. And, you'll see there, inside the book, if anyone needs to talk to us after that, they can get a hold of us, and we'll see what we can do to be of support. But that's what I mainly want to do is give you that gift to you and your audience. Oh,
Marco, really appreciate that. Can't wait to get my hands on that and look at it. I do not like leaving money behind, so I'll be incorporating what I have not incorporated, and I really appreciate that. So listen, Malcolm, thanks for jumping on the show today. Hope you have a great rest of the day.
Do the same, my friend. Thanks, Omar. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise. Hope you enjoyed listening to today's episode of the Health Coach Academy podcast. If you did, jump over to iTunes and leave a rating and or review. It goes a long way in helping get this message out to our fellow health coaches and people in our industry. Also, if you can, jump over to my website, omarcumberbatch.com, where I give out a lot of freebies, including my 5-day sugar challenge for people who are having issues with sugar. And also for health coaches, I have the book, Hidden. It's the 6 not so obvious ways to get your clients unstuck. Have a great day.